So as you can see, I've got a little bit of dirt on the Captiva 5. I've been taking it through a little bit of mud, a little bit of loose leaf litter and a little bit of loose clay through the Mapleton forest here for about an hour. And I've got to say I'm impressed with the on-demand four-wheel drive. It certainly gives you plenty of traction when you need it. The diesel is very torquey and it will get you out of most problems in this sort of environment. And I guess that's something you need to consider. If you're going to buy this type of vehicle, if you're going to go for an SUV with on-demand four-wheel drive rather than a larger four-wheel drive like a Pajero or a Colorado or a Prado, something of that sort of caliber. If you're going to go for one of these little ones, don't get sucked into buying a 1.6 or a 1.8 little turbo diesel, because that's going to save you 1 or 2 litres per 100 kilometres. If you need additional torque when you're going through low traction environments like this and you've got a smaller turbo diesel, you're really going to struggle, because these SUVs with all-wheel drive do have a little bit more additional weight than what your regular car does. So you want something with a nice big dollop of torque, and that's what the Captiva 5 has definitely got in spades. It's a very grunty little machine. Contrary to the SUV ads you'll see on TV, and that's for four-wheel drives as well, not just the all-wheel drives like we have with the Captiva, is the way that they smash through puddles and fly over rocks and jump beaches with single bounds. Anybody that's actually been real four-wheel driving before can tell you that's not the way to treat your vehicle. May look good in the ads. And you remember, those people that make the ads always give the car back when they're finished. Especially with puddles, because puddles are the ones that can usually hide the biggest holes. If it's a muddy puddle, you're not going to just be able to see how deep it is. That's a good way to bend a rim. I don't know how much the rims are on this Captiva, but they are 19-inch wheels, so I can't imagine they'd be too affordable. Good to see the auto wipers still work off-road. Although the Captiva 5 has been around longer than much of its competition, the revised 2.2 litre turbo diesel still gives it an edge on all but the pricier end of the market. For example, the Ford Kuga, which is a brand new model, it is more expensive, but it has more techie stuff, a lot more internal fitments and tricks and bobs and flashing lights and that sort of thing, which would explain why it has the worst power to weight ratio of its contemporaries. It is a very nice looking piece of kit though. The Kia Sportage is much more on par when it comes to power and torque, and wins the economy race against the Captiva. The Kia is more on par for price, but it has a smaller load space and a puny 55 litre tank. It counters with an excellent 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty. When you look at the CX-5, it is clearly a new generation powertrain. It's lighter than everything else and near enough to the largest, yet it's still the most fuel efficient. You will start out with a pretty high premium for the CX-5s though. A Max Sport, second from the bottom, has a list price nudging 40k, and that's before on-road costs. The CX-5 also needs to be serviced every 6 months. I would ask for fixed price servicing if that's not already offered, because that's twice as often as most of the competition. The Captiva 5 is probably the last of the SUVs before they decide to become high-riding minivans. It's not meant to go off-road, but it has the gusto needed if you really feel you need to hit the dirt. Can't compete with a newer competition when it comes to entertainment systems, but it's still the gruntiest with the biggest fuel tank and seat-up load space. When it comes to practicality, the LTZ also has a bundle of additional storage compartments. Like under the center console, there's a big bin where you could fit a whole change of clothes, not including my shoes if your feet are as big as mine. It also comes with front and rear parking sensors, fog lights, gigantic 235 50 R19 tyres, and in the case of our test vehicle, a lickable pearl white prestige paint. Sorry, I've got a thing for pearl white, and this one is particularly delicious. It doesn't have a rear vision camera though, which is a no-no for SUVs, although its blind spot on the D-pillar isn't as bad as some of them. Ride quality demonstrates the true compromise you must make for duality. For example, it's choppy on dirt and trail roads, but it's still fairly confident with impressive traction under duress, and I've certainly placed it under duress a number of times. And it also has strong grip on smoother roads thanks to its big rubber, but in neither environment would you describe it as being comforting. Likewise, when we packed the Captiva 5 for a weekend away, it wasn't quite big enough for a family of 5. That may be due to the size of our tent, but it was the perfect size for weekly runs to school, shopping and sport on weekends. So while this is a capable package, it also demonstrates that there are no free lunches if you want an SUV. You can buy some better equipped models or some more fuel efficient vehicles, but it will cost you more. The middle-sized Holden SUV at $37,000 leads the grunt per dollar equation, but if you crave the latest tech, you should probably look somewhere else because the Captiva 5 only goes so far.